What's up, you guys? So we
Hey.
are back. We are back. I have the lovely Grace Report and the handsome Kempire here with us for our last recap of the season. It is the finale, y'all. What's up, Grace? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm really excited to dig into it, but I'm also sad that this is it, the end of the road.
Yes, yes. We've come to the end of the road.
Mm-mm.
Kempire, you might have to sing us out.
Ah.
You might have to sing us out because I know you sing. How are you doing, Kempire?
I'm doing well. It's the end of the road. The only part that I will miss is you two because I think
Yeah.
I'm done with the season at this point.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing. You know what? Are you done with the show though? Because some people are saying that they're done with the show. They're so over it. Are y'all done with the show?
No, I don't think I'm
No?
done with the show yet, but they
No.
definitely need to do some changes for next season.
All right, so we'll get into that. I want to thank you guys watching, and those of you guys in the chat. I want to thank you for joining us for this finale recap. We definitely have enjoyed chatting with you guys all season long. You guys make it great. Like we literally would not do this if you guys didn't come join us. So thank you so much for those of you who are watching and those of you who are chatting and supporting, sending super chats, all that type of stuff. I just want to thank you guys because I literally may not see you guys for another 6 months to a year until the show comes back. I may not be live again. But yeah, so thank you so much for joining us. And I want to start out with our usual question.
Oh, damn.
Our usual question. It looks like y'all both forgot.
20 episodes later.
What would you rate the episode on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. It's the finale episode, RHOP Reunion Part 3. What would you rate the episode?
I'd give it a 4 personally, 4 or 5.
That's really
Yeah. It was just not all it was cracked up to be. I was expecting that like sit down at the end with Robin to like give, but it wasn't really all that. And then the issue with Candiace versus Gizelle, how nobody really jumped into Candiace and Chris's defense to help there, but they jumped down her throat when, she called out some of, the things that play with Gizelle being able to do and say the things that she does season after season.
Yeah. I see you're not alone. I see some people feel around that same range. What about you, Kempire?
I'm leaning more towards a 7.
Okay.
Just because I feel like overall, I think that's what I would give the season overall, a 7. But I'm going to give this final part of the reunion a 7. But then I think about that last 10 minutes of that Robin interview, which makes me want to take away a point. So maybe a 6.
Yeah.
Because it didn't give what it was supposed to give.
At all. And I kind of wish they didn't do that. I kind of wish they didn't do that because to me, it didn't add anything from the show. And if anything, it took away from the show, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So overall, I would probably give this episode maybe a 6. I would maybe give it a 6. And part of it is because of that last part of the episode. I did not enjoy it. No,
not at all. I did enjoy when Chris came out though.
Yeah. We're gonna get into that because that was a lot. So thank you for the super chat, Imani Taylor. She said, I feel the same as Kempire. I'll miss you 3. Good riddance to the show. Yeah, we're gonna miss each other.
I mean, we're not going anywhere, y'all. We will
right.
on something.
But our trio. And thank you to Annette for the super chat. Layla. Oh, yes, I forgot to introduce my jumpsuit. She said, Layla, is that the jumpsuit that Mia and Ashley had? Yes. I purchased it once before it came on TV. And I don't know if I gave it away or threw it away the first time. So after it was on TV, I went and purchased it again. This is Fashion Nova. This is the jumpsuit. This is it.
I mean, you can drop us down so we can get a full view if you're comcomfortable enough giving us.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'll give you this. But yeah, I said I'm gonna start wearing it again. So I went and got another one. But yeah. So the reunion started off with Mia and Jacqueline. And so they were talking about basically Mia's business as far as the joint chiropractic and things like that. And Mia claiming that at one point she was the CEO of the business. And Jacqueline said, throughout this process, apparently she believed Mia. She believed that Mia really was the CEO of their company, but she found out that wasn't true. And when she said that, Mia was like, lie. She called Jacqueline a liar as if it were true. So I just want to know, do y'all think at one point Mia was a CEO, or is she still lying?
She's been caught in so many lies, especially this week alone. The whole Peter Thomas and Wendy situation. She's been in so many lies. And although I know you guys never found it cute, there were some moments where it's like, oh, here she go lying again. That was cute for a hot. No, at this point, it's disturbing how much she lies. And nothing that she said during this final part of the reunion, I believe. Even with the Karen situation, I don't believe a word that's coming out of her mouth. I don't believe she was ever CEO. She was the CEO of cabinets.
Cabinets. Cabinets. Wow. Okay.
All right. Cabinets.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And she was rearranging the little stuff. Okay. Okay. What about you, Grace?
I agree. I think she had a vanity title, you know, like COO or something like that, but definitely not CEO. And to add on to her lies, remember on the show, she was like, oh, where were you Mother's Day? I was with your mom. Time to find out, even that wasn't true. She's just a liar.
If you're on FaceTime with somebody, are you really with them? Are you just on the phone with them? Like, does that really count?
No.
No, but the way she explained it, I was like, well, are y'all saying that does count? Maybe.
No. It's like Gizelle and the pastor. Was he really with her all those times, or was he just living in the phone?
Oh my God. You know, I did this live with Ty's Hot Mess History and Nyla Vibes, Grown Woman Vibes. And they were showing this newspaper article from like Baltimore, I guess from the 90s or 2000s when Jamal and Gizelle got divorced. And Gizelle made accusations of violence. She said she experienced violence with Jamal. So to me, knowing that information, and this was in the newspaper, this is not, I don't know if you would call it hearsay when it's from the newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they usually double check their sources. It's not, you know, it's not the blogs, but
right. And it was her lawyer speaking for her.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So to me, with that information, it makes me wonder, like, if this man was violent towards you, why, even if you playing on TV, acting like this is your man and y'all are reconciling, why would you even play like that if he was violent towards you at one point? Like, I really can't see it. I really can't.
Unfortunately, I find that a lot of victims of those sorts of things do go back, you know, so it doesn't surprise me if that's true.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I'm disappointed in Gizelle, but I don't even know if it can go any lower. As far as my opinion of Gizelle, I don't know if it can go any lower.
Wait to season 8.
I shouldn't have said anything. But thank you, Sean, for the super chat. Sean said the show needs an overhaul. Oh my God, the TikTok with the Rhythmless Nation proves that. You guys, I enjoyed that TikTok. That TikTok made me laugh. It really did. It was Robin.
I don't know if it was supposed to make you laugh, though.
Anytime Robin is dancing, like, that made my morning. Yes.
Bad.
Sean said, have to give it to Ray. He shows up every season for Karen. True definition of an OG. That is why they are an institution. Okay, Sean, you believe in it. I mean, I support them. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think. And we'll get to that because I feel like Ray is willfully turning his head.
Y'all better put some respect on the Black Bill Gates and what he's meant to our community when it comes to Black people representation and technology. No Ray Huger slander.
I'm not trying to slander Ray Huger. Let's make that clear. I'm not. I would never. I would never.
I would like a deep dive on him. You know, either Layla, because I know you like to get into that, or Ti's hot mess history. I want like a profile on him. You know, what's the tea?
Yeah. I should do that. I want to know what y'all thought though regarding Jacqueline and Mia. Jacqueline made the claim that Mia and Gordon have some trust issues, even though they are like swingers, and I guess, you know, they're supposed to trust each other enough to be with other partners. Jacqueline was saying that they have trust issues and that Mia was with the mother of her ex-boyfriend in Atlanta, and G was calling around like, where is my wife? What did y'all think of that? Because I felt like there was more to that. Like, why are you with your ex-boyfriend's mother?
Why is your husband calling around real worried about where you are?
Right. Why doesn't your husband know where you are? So do y'all think like Mia is stepping out on G, making plans to
Yeah.
what will you do? Tell me more. Tell me more.
As soon as Jacqueline brought that up, I was like, well, you lose him how you got him, Gordon. Am I supposed to feel sorry for you? How you left your happily married wife to go spread it wide open on a Miami beach? Excuse me, I'm not gonna feel sorry for you. I felt sorry for you when you started crying, though. I didn't love the fact that Mia was like this. Stop it, stop. Excuse me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like she kind of admitted it when she talked about how sometimes when women marry older men, as they get older, they're not able to perform. And then tonight she confirms that he has performance issues. I think she was talking about herself there. So I do believe that he's giving her a hall pass, but I don't believe that she would be allowed to like hall pass it with an ex. And I'm not sure I believe that she was having brunch or whatever with an ex-boyfriend's mom. Like she was doing something with the ex, not the mom.
She's a liar.
Honestly, like you have no reason to believe her because she's given no reason for us to trust her. Like she's built no type of trust with the audience. Like she's always lying from what we can tell. And I think this is another issue, and I hope they dig into that. Like I really hope next season, because I feel like the same cast might be coming back next season. So I really hope next season that they dig into like, what is Mia doing? But I also wanted to know this because this was the first time I heard that G is the one that actually had cancer. Like Mia did this whole cancer scare, but G had cancer for real. Had y'all heard that already?
No.
So what do you think about Mia doing all this, like on social media and on the show, causing so much worry with a cancer scare that turned out to be something like a rash when G really had cancer?
I feel like rash back.
That's what the doctor said. But I feel like there's something really wrong with that. When your mate has cancer, but you do this whole thing on social media and on reality TV about you possibly having cancer. I don't know if it's narcissism or what, but I just felt like it's something to that. Like that's not right.
How long ago though did he have cancer? I wonder.
She said freshly.
Oh.
Freshly.
Oh.
So freshly to me means within a year or two.
Ooh.
That's what freshly means to me. But maybe we can talk about that too
as well. Like even tonight, he was crying and stuff a lot about like all the doctor's visits and whatnot. Like I don't know. I feel like they were both really like playing into it, for lack of a better word there.
Yeah. It seemed weird when he got emotional because on the show he told Mia like that she was exaggerating. Like the doctor didn't say she was dying. Yeah. But then on the reunion, it did seem like he was, emotional and getting choked up. So we did see two different things from him.
Yeah.
Thank you, Deborah. Is this Cartier? Deborah, thank you for the super chat. She said, Gizelle likes to put sauce on things. Remember. If you want to call it sauce, we can call it sauce. But yeah, she's lying. And thank you, Sean. Thank you for another super chat. Sean said, I believe in their agreement to show up for each other on this show. I do too. I do too. And I don't see anything wrong with that. I really don't. If it's between the two of them, it's between the two of them. But do y'all think Jacqueline is going to be back next season?
Yeah, because she's made friends with Candiace. So and you I don't know if you saw this over the weekend. Mia was trying to apologize publicly to Jacqueline. So she might know that Jacqueline's going to come back next season.
Yeah.
What can Jacqueline offer us next season? Is she going to be like Charisse, where like this one woman is her storyline, or is she going to flourish? Because I do like her. It's just if they patch it up, then I don't know what we need her for. Or even if they don't, what do we need her for? You know what I mean? She already spilled the tea on the man, on the business and the stuff. Like,
maybe I feel like it's more to the business. And if she has a tea on that, because I want to know exactly what happened, like step by step. Because I feel like part of the issue with the business is Mia going on reality TV and saying she's the CEO. I feel like the people who actually run the business with Gordon, I feel like that didn't go over well. And I feel like that's part of the issue. So if Jacqueline came back, I would like to see, her personal life, her love life, verify that she's not with a married man. And then also I would like to see her spill tea on what's really going on with Mia's business.
And we also have to see this mending offenses between Mia or between Mia and Jacqueline or not. So I
Right.
think people are definitely more interested in Jacqueline coming back versus Charisse.
Right. So
Yeah,
yes, you know what? We should do a poll. I don't know if I can do it from StreamYard, but y'all put as far as who you would like to see come back, put a 1 for Jacqueline or a 2 for Charisse. Let us know who you would like to see come back to the show next season.
or 3 for Robin. Oh my God.
Now, I thought it was interesting that Jacqueline admitted to lying on the show. I feel like that might not serve her well as far as coming back. Yeah,
Nope.
that's not.
I didn't like that. I was like, you're a grown woman. You did not need to lie about Gordon giving you a down payment for a Porsche. Now you got me looking at you side eye. But we've been giving her the side eye throughout the season, though. We weren't completely controlled on her.
Yeah, because even though
too. She's
Say
been
that again?
flirting with him. She flirts with him. She flirts with Mia. And then she goes, oh my God, why do people have these ideas? Oh, stop.
right. You played into it. You play a part. Just like when we saw her arguing with Mia, it's not just Mia, it's her too. We see, you know, both sides of the story.
I see a lot of ones.
One was Jack. Okay, so y'all want to see Jacqueline.
Mhm.
Thank you, Patrine, for the super chat. Patrine said, just want to say Candiace didn't call yes. Okay, didn't call Gizelle a white woman. She said she's white looking. Her proximity to whiteness, the fact that they had more smoke for Candy than Giz, show the colorism she talks about. They got activated, right? When Candiace got loud, they really got activated. So we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to get into that. Thank you so much, Brian Patterson. Thank you for supporting us. He said, I love this panel. ATL starts in 2 months.
Wink, wink.
You know it starts in 2 months. The cameras are going back up to cover the whole old Drew situation. So,
right.
Who knows?
I already see it. I'm sure they're going to start in present and do a flashback. You know what I mean? Like they do. I can already see it. But Grace and Tisa are covering Ultimate Girls Trip starting, I believe it comes the 23rd or the 24th of this month.
23rd. Are you not joining us? What do you mean, Grace and Tisa? You're not joining us?
We didn't get a message. Oh my God, we got to talk. Oh my God.
That's a live situation.
I got a lot going on, Grace. Okay, you got to open your messages.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I'm horrible.
Yes.
Okay.
My bad. Yes. Grace, I want to say you look so good. Like the light is hitting you, the light, the lipstick.
Yes. It's retinol. That's like the secret, I feel like. For glow.
I went and bought some. Since you said that, I went and bought some retinol. I've been using it. All right, you guys, we're gonna move on from Jacqueline because she was only out there for a minute. And let me go back. Let me go to these numbers and see. Yeah, there are a lot of ones.
I didn't
Omar, what you got going on, Omar?
I did not see it too. Anyone put it too? I know who put it too. Andy Cohen put it too because he said that we decided to bring Charisse back.
Yes.
For what?
Why Brooklyn Star but a 0?
Or Brooklyn Star.
But yes, Andy made a special point to tell y'all that Charisse did not call him and beg him to get back on the show. They called Charisse and wanted her to come back on the show as an OG. He made a point to tell y'all that, and y'all still don't want her back. Look at this. Is every single one of y'all put either a 1
Charisse
or
don't
0.
have either.
Oh my God. I'm not messing with y'all.
What's the 0? No one come back.
None of them.
I'm not messing with y'all.
One of them are coming back. I don't think it's going to be Charisse.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I don't know what they're gonna do. But I wouldn't.
You were plotting and planning that whole meetup with the awkward dancing. You think that was a plotting and planning that they were doing?
Mm-hmm. That's what they do. They get together and they have those meetings. Yeah, that's what they do. So what did y'all think? Okay, so Charisse came out and she did her part. It was maybe like 5 to 7 minutes. And Andy was saying that he doesn't think Charisse was clout chasing by coming to Karen's mom's funeral. Now, I have my thoughts where I do feel like, and we did discuss Charisse being a socialite, like Charisse, in my opinion, does go out of her way to go to, events. Even if it's a funeral, she goes to people's events and she does, socialize. Kempire. Did we not have this conversation?
Socialize 4 hours away?
Yeah, if that's what you do. Yeah, especially, you know, when it comes to reality TV, like
Mm,
if this person is important to you for whatever reason, what's
So
4 hours?
you think it was an ulterior motive, though, very much like what Karen thought.
In my opinion, yeah. And I don't think she drove. So let's just, I know it's 4 hours, but I don't think she drove. So that's not an issue to me. But do y'all think it was an ulterior motive?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She likes to hold things over people's heads. She likes to feel like she is like this amazing person and no one can live up to her level of friendship. She did the same thing to Monique and whatnot. Like that's just her MO. And I think it comes from her being like a coach's wife and having that hierarchy. Because I used to watch the game, right? There's the coach's wife and there's a player's wife.
Right.
So she's used to that kind of dynamic. And it's like, to me, if you went to the funeral of someone's parent and you saw how hurt and, you know, broken they were about that, you don't treat them the way that she's treating Karen a couple years later. You know what I mean? Just running around, spreading all these rumors for no reason almost. She's not a genuine person, in my opinion.
Yeah, because what exactly did Karen say about you so bad that you had to come at her with all of these, you know, accusations?
That's what I've been wondering this whole season. Like, what was the impetus? And I do agree with Karen's, it was either her aunt, I believe, or her sister who said, you know, if she doesn't bring it up on camera, then it wasn't, you know, an ulterior motive. But if she does, then there you have it. That's the motive. And what did Charisse do? She brought it up on camera. So in my opinion, there was a motive behind it. But what did y'all think? Karen said, you know what? When it comes to my mother's funeral, like I'm not fielding any more questions about that.
Yeah.
Y'all feel that?
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't blame her because this is something personal to her. We don't know the relationship that she had with her mom, and I'm sure when she thinks about her mom's funeral, she thinks about her dad because it happened at the same, very close to, you know, around the same time. So I don't blame her for shutting down the conversation. I'm not going to entertain this because it's going to make me be upset.
Right. And this is a real issue. What about you, Grace?
Yeah, I'm with her on that. And Andy was so shady to go, all right, let me ask Charisse about your mom's funeral. Like, oh my God.
No respect. Yeah, yeah, I noticed that. Thank you, Bunny Chick, for the super chat. She said, Andy Cohen said that he hoped Mia and Jacqueline could resolve their issues off camera, which makes me think one of them isn't coming back. Wow.
Oh, I never thought about
That's a very good point. That's a hint right there. Yeah. Yeah. If I was Jacqueline, I might take that as a hint that I might not be coming back. Yeah. All right. So after Charisse leaves the couch, we talk about Robin's wedding. Yeah. And so at Robin's wedding, we see her kind of like give a shout out to all her haters. Like she's touching her butt, like I guess saying, you know, kiss my behind. I mean, I just can't imagine on your own wedding day having to shout out your haters. That was strange to me. And I want to know what y'all thought about that.
It makes me wonder if the haters were within her own friend group and family. Because why would you be so pressed by the audience that you've decided to put on television your relationship? You're so pressed by the audience. You're thinking about the audience while you're supposedly having the happiest moment of your life. Says a lot. It says a lot.
Yeah. I really hope that wasn't the happiest moment of her life. I don't even like Robin, but I hope for better for her.
One of the happiest. One of the happiest.
Okay. I just want her to have more. What about you, Grace?
It made me feel sad for her. Like the fact that this is a prize to you, the man, and she knew at the time that he had cheated on her again. It's like, I don't know, the fact that you can't hope for more for yourself makes me sad. And the fact that you think that I think so lowly of myself, that this would be like a brag towards me and what I've got going on. Like, yeah no.
I'm thinking about you, Robin.
Right. She said we don't pay her bills, yet she's worried about us on her alleged wedding. I'm still waiting for that paper.
I cannot find it.
And you know they're looking for an hour.
About an hour. Listen, I had to look up Rashida and Kurt. I had their stuff sent to my house. I could not find Robin and Juan. Not to say they're not married, because I do actually believe them. I just could not locate it.
Yeah.
Tasha Joe, thank you for the super chat. She said, hi y'all. Did you believe G's tears? It felt like a script to me.
I believed it because I don't see G had, what would be the point in that moment for G to fake the emotion? I feel like he really did. I do believe it was a health scare, but I believe Mia decided to take it to social media in her whole Mia-ness and exaggerate things. I do believe at one point there was a health scare within their family. So, and remember, he those tears could be also, I've dealt with cancer and the fear of cancer. So it's probably a combination of both, in my opinion. But I saw a lot of people saying that they didn't believe it.
Grace, would you have liked to see Mia, instead of, I don't want to say faking, but instead of making this health scare, a central part of her storyline this year, would you have liked to see her dealing with Gordon's health scare? Would you have preferred that?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think so. It would be similar to the Nene Greg. Like, that was really interesting to watch play out, just her trying to support him, but also struggling to keep her own head afloat because, that required so much energy and whatnot. Yeah, that would have been a lot more compelling and interesting.
That reminds me, I'm going to write that down. Because when it comes to caregivers, I want to do something because it's a lot. And I hear so many people talking about being a caregiver. It's a lot. C. McDonald, thank you for the super chat. C said, Gordon might have gotten emotional due to Mia putting his manhood situation out there. Mia talking about his performance, etc., was unnecessary.
I felt for him in that moment.
It was embarrassing. Like, I understood what she was trying to say, and I don't feel like she was trying to put it out there like that. I feel like she only put it out there to clarify that she felt Jacqueline was attacking the issue with Gordon. You know what I mean? But I felt bad for Gordon in that moment.
I'm surprised they didn't bring it up to him to like ask him how he's doing and whatnot. Like, he just kind of came out and didn't really talk about it.
Yeah, I feel like they glossed over it. I don't know. Maybe it was by his request. Maybe he told them he don't want to talk about it. I don't know. But I felt like there was a glossing over the fact that Mia had a cancer scare, but in real life, Gordon was the one that really had cancer. That was crazy to me. Thank you, Charmy. Charmy said Andy could have kept that comment about Bravo asking Charisse to come back. We all knew who dropped that bug in his ear to bring Charisse back. But I see y'all not feeling it.
Nope.
Thank you, Mim.
You do.
Mim said, yes, Layla wore better. Thank you. Thank you. I just drank so much Kool-Aid. Like, I don't want to get it's an issue. I started drinking like juice and stuff again. Like, I haven't been drinking Kool-Aid. I started drinking Kool-Aid again. And I'm like, I cannot even stand up because I had so much Kool-Aid before this live chat. But you guys, I want to get into, you know what? I really want to get into when the husbands come out and there's a conversation with Chris. We'll go ahead and skip to that. To the people in the chat, again, I want to thank you guys for joining us. This is our final recap for season 7 of The Real Housewives of Potomac. You guys have made this wonderful for us. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be here. So we definitely want to thank you guys for supporting each of our channels. There's a link to Grace's channel and Kempire's channel in this chat and in the description box. So make sure you follow them. They are friends to the Layla Lynn channel. So again, I want to thank y'all for joining me on my channel. And thank you guys in the comments. And those of you who are watching, lurking, thank you guys for your support.
Thank you.
So when the husbands come out, they start off light. They start off with Happy Eddie, which you guys saw. That's his new cannabis brand. Happy Eddie.
No!
Yes, that's what he named it. Yes, she named his brand. He's about to make money off the Happy Eddie.
I love it. So smart.
Yeah, I loved it too. I was like, that's what you do.
Layla, you buy everything from these shows. Are you buying Happy Eddie?
You know what? I don't do the...
No.
I don't. I have tried it. I am one of those people who I get paranoid. Like, it does not relax me. I feel like I'd be too high. Like, when am I going to come down? And like the last time I tried it, because I tried an edible thinking it would be better. And I found myself Googling, like, when am I going to not be high? Like, how long am I going to be high? Like, I literally was Googling. So it's not for me. It's not for me. What about you, Grace?
No, and it's funny because at our place, I think Canada was one of the first countries to like legalize it and whatnot. So like I tried it when the gov started selling it, but that stuff was lethal. It's like
Yeah.
you can't even do anything because you're so I don't understand the hype because I don't want to feel that way. I want to like have a fun, go out and dance, not like just be
Right.
like, no, it's not for me.
I also felt dumb when I did it. Like I literally felt like I couldn't, like if I was to try to work, I know some people say it makes them creative, but for me, I felt like I could not complete my thoughts. I'll put it that way. Yeah. So I could not complete a thought. But shout out to Eddie, with his Happy Eddie cannabis, shout out to him.
Yeah, I had no idea that it was going to be connected to that because I know he had trademarked Happy Eddie. So I was like, I wonder what he's going to do with that. Well,
Yeah.
that's good to know.
That's what he's doing. Yeah. And maybe that's why he's so happy. I don't know. But yeah, so we start out with Eddie to keep it light, but then of course we have to talk to Chris about the situation with Gizelle. And Chris asked Gizelle specifically, what did he do? You know what I mean? Because she's made statements like he needs to apologize for what he did. So he asked Gizelle, what did he do? So I wanted to ask you guys, because it seemed to become a question of semantics.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all feel like it's semantics or what? As far as making someone feel uncomfortable or doing something to someone that made them feel uncomfortable?
I feel like semantics is even generous because semantics to me is different ways to describe something that really happened. But here it's like, yeah, they both went into a room and that's it. I feel like it's more like Gizelle, purposely trying to create an idea, an image of something that did not happen. Like he made a pass. He was trying to see if she was with it. That did not happen. So I think that that's mainly what it is. She keeps throwing out all these like, what do you call these words? Like coded words and what? She's really leaning heavily into these to paint a picture of something that did not exist. And I felt like it was very sick and dangerous of her to do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I will never look at Gizelle the same after this season. The fact that she would even play with this idea, and I get where Candiace was going, where you are going to make it harder for women that have real allegations because you're playing with your words here. Do I believe that she was uncomfortable in that moment? Yeah, I do believe she was, but she decided to wait to bring it to the show.
Yeah.
In order to create, and I honestly believe that Gizelle in that moment thought, I'll bring it to the show. It'd be a great storyline. We can distract from the Juan Dixon situation. And Candiace and I will be able to get over this easily because I just felt uncomfortable. And then he'll apologize and it'll be all good. She didn't realize, no, not everyone's going to react the way you want them to react.
Mm-hmm. Do y'all feel like, I know you said she felt like Candiace would get over it easily. My feeling is that she felt like even if Candiace doesn't, she was willing to sacrifice with Candiace.
That part.
Yeah. That's what I feel. Like to her, Candiace is disposable. Like to her, the only person that's not disposable is Robin. I feel like that's her only real friend on the show. But I feel like anyone else, even Ashley, and of course Mia, I feel like anyone else is disposable to her, including Chris. And so I feel like that's part of the issue there.
She missed a great opportunity. I feel like she could have turned it around if she just admitted and like said, listen, like I spoke poorly. Yes, I did feel uncomfortable, but it was, both of our responsibility in that. And I shouldn't have said what I said, and just try to mend the fences. But it felt like she kept digging her heels in and trying to paint this picture all over again, which just, I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yeah. So Chris tells Gizelle to effing spit it out. Like he's kind of like cursing at her, yelling at her, and Gizelle refuses to talk to him because he's yelling at her. And I want to know if you guys think that should Gizelle have done what she did and demanded that Chris stop yelling at her in order for her to explain herself, or should she have expected that type of response from Chris and just went with it? What do you guys think of her, acting like she can't speak to him until he calmed down?
Distraction so she can make up a new lie. It was a distraction in my opinion, because again, the episode's over, we still don't know what he actually did to her because she never came up with something in all this time that she had, the 5 months before filming and then throughout the filming and seeing all the backlash. She didn't come up with anything because nothing happened.
Yeah. What about you, Kempire?
Here's the thing. Do I like the fact that Chris lost it on her? Not really, because then it kind of gets lost in the sauce, and then people that were on his side are like, "Oh, Chris." I get it. He was angry in the moment though, because of this. There was this huge microscope now on him because of the show and these allegations. And he says it has affected his life. So I understand his anger. But here's the truth. Even if Chris came at Gizelle quietly, but was coming at her with fact after fact after fact, Giselle's going to sit there like this.
I noticed that. And when she does that, other people, when Gizelle, she kind of like, she quiets down, she doesn't say anything, and then other people speak for her.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I'm telling you, I do not like that. And that's why I say Gizelle is in charge of the girls. Because as soon as she gets quiet, her little minions speak up for her. And I don't like that. I feel like it's a power move.
Yeah.
And I remember when I used to work in sales, they used to tell us, like, at a certain point after you make your sales pitch, be quiet and just see, you know what I'm saying? See what the other person has to say. Don't keep talking. And it's kind of like a power move. And I feel like Gizelle does that. You know what I mean? I don't like it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Deja Sylvester said same. Why Jiz cannot like Wendy? Oh, same why Jiz cannot like Wendy. Karen cannot see it for Charisse. Yeah, I don't see it for Charisse either. And like we were saying, a lot of people are disposable to Gizelle. So when Chris gets loud and Gizelle demands that he quiet down in order for her to say, you know, whatever she has to say, Candiace takes that moment to call Gizelle a gutter snipe female dog. And so I feel like that was a moment. I feel like, you know, it came from her heart. She said what needed to be said. And I actually don't disagree with her. I do feel like Gizelle's a gutter snipe. She is the lowest of the low. Yes. Yeah. I do feel like she's a gutter snipe. Like how I said that earlier, how low can you go? Yeah. I don't feel like it's okay to make those type of accusations against someone on television when you know that wasn't their intention. And I feel like that's what you were saying, Grace, when you said nothing happened. It's like it was not purposeful. Like nothing, he did not do anything to you, in my opinion. So I do feel like gutter snipe is an accurate description for Gizelle.
No. It's even nice. It's a nice way to say it because she's evil. She's demonic. Like, who does this? Because Chris always treated her so kindly. Like, we've never seen him do anything wrong to her. And he's always gone out of his way to accommodate her and just be really nice to her. So the fact that she would turn around and do this to him as a father, as a husband, as a brother, as a son, as a friend, as an employee, like, it's sickening. Like, it's not like a normal person does not do this. This is someone who has serious issues, and Gizelle is that, you know. I don't think there's a word like harsh enough to describe that, because this is not even like a one-off thing. She was questioning paternities of babies for a storyline, wasn't she? Like, she's a disgusting person, and I think that
no soul.
Yeah, she has no soul. I agree. You know, Chris and Candiace let her off easy. Like that, they could have gone all the way in times 10, and they already did. But like, she deserves everything.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So what do y'all think with Candiace calling her a gutter snipe female dog? You know, next season, they both probably will be on the show. How do you think that's going to play out next season? Because I don't think you can come back. Like, I don't think there is any reconciliation after that. No. I don't see any reconciliation after that. Like, you told me how you really feel. Like, maybe they can be cordial, but I don't see anything more than being cordial.
What about an intervention? Do you guys remember when Nene was going off the rails in RHOA because her head was getting big from being famous in Hollywood? The girls staged an intervention or something like that. I think it would be interesting if the girls staged like an intervention, hired a therapist or something to help reunite the group or to address the Gizelle problem, you know?
But don't let it be Dr. Jeff. Is that his name, the one that comes on RHOA, Dr. Jeff? He is so
nice. And talk show.
Right. It's always him. He never helps. Like, he is not the one. Shout out to Mims. Mims said, I feel bad for Karen, but if you list the funeral as the reason you have issues with Charisse, then you are required to talk about it at the reunion. I don't know. I'm funny acting, you guys. Be honest with y'all. Like, if it came to my mom and her funeral, I'm just like Karen. Like, nope, I ain't required to do nothing when it comes to my mom's funeral. It's off limits.
Didn't she address it? She's like, I'm not going to keep mentioning my mom's funeral. I've already told you. She came to my mom's funeral, and I felt like it wasn't genuine. Period.
Yeah.
What's there to explain?
Right. But of course, Andy got another question. You know what I'm saying? It's always another question. Thank you, Daniela, for the super chat. I definitely appreciate it. Yeah, Andy always has another question. When it comes to the show, there's always something else you can ask. Mm-hmm. You live, like Mission. Thank you for the super chat. But you live.
Look, like you probably got to go.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for your support. We definitely seen you throughout the season. We've seen like Mission. We definitely thank you for your support. And Mims, thank you so much, Mims. He said the happiest moment of Robin's life is when, oh my God, she and Gizelle.
He is such a firecracker.
Yes. Oh my God, I have to read it. Is when she and Gizelle became partners. Okay, with her wink. That's the wink. Business partner. Get business. Mims, I'm not messing with you. I'm done with you, Mims. I am done with you. Thank you. Oh, what's up, Sheridan? Sheridan has a vlog channel. I'm about to rewatch her vlogs. I'm about to go on vacation. I'm taking this outfit on vacation. Listen, I'm not gonna drink no Kool-Aid before I wear it. I'm gonna like not eat breakfast and wear it all day. She said, I don't think Robin knew about this woman until the lady reached out. I think she lied about that. I do too. There was a discussion, about that. If Robin knew before it came out, I think she only knew because the girl emailed her.
Yeah.
Before it came out, which was like August, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'm about to rewatch your channel, your vacation vlog, so I can get in the vacation mindset, Sheridan.
No, too.
All right, you guys.
Vacation.
Right. After this season.
Yes. And listen, okay, so Gizelle said, I thought this was interesting because I felt like this was Gizelle trying to set something up. She said that Chris knew that Cal wasn't in the room because Chris had said bye to Cal. At some point when Cal left, he saw Chris and said bye. And I guess she maybe has a stylist named Carly. There was someone else, and she was like, Carly was gone too. Which, of course, Chris doesn't know that. Like, he's not keeping up with her like that. According to what he said, he was like, he didn't know the other lady was gone too. So when Gizelle was pointing out that both Cal and Carly had left her room and that Chris knew that, do you think she was trying to imply that Chris purposely wanted to be alone with her? I'm going to ask you guys that, and I'm going to be right back.
Yeah. Look, yeah. I really do believe that because I felt like she implied it during the season where she was making it seem like he was intentionally, he knew that her hairstylist I don't know what else he does with her, wasn't in the room. But he justifies it in this reunion that you said your team is up there, so that's why you felt comfortable. Just because I saw one person from your team means more than one. Yeah. Maybe she doesn't understand that because she doesn't understand a lot when it comes to the English language.
You know, it's always the most convenient things that she does not understand, right? And I think this is what happens when you overhype someone so much. I'm sorry, but Gizelle, she gets hyped so much. Yeah. All the time. I personally don't understand it, but I digress. But when you fill someone's head up so much, every time you're talking about them, you're like, oh, this person's so beautiful, so this, so that. They get a little bit too like self-obsessed and they start thinking everyone wants to be with them or wants this or wants that. And I think that that's what has happened to her, where every interaction with her is a pass at her. You know, like she can get an Amazon package and the guy tried to sleep with her. Like she's just so used to it.
Right. And but even Andy is a whole gold star gay, and she thought Andy would be interested in her coochie. Like that proves your point. Like she thinks everybody wants her.
It was not a question. It was, I'll do it. Well, who said I wanted to do it with you?
Right. Because I've never heard Andy say, you know, that he was interested in Gizelle. I've never heard him say that. And I'm glad he handled that the way he did.
Especially the way she carries herself. She's a beautiful woman, but personality goes a long way. I don't care if you are the most superficial person in the world. When you start to see someone's personality, you see Gizelle doing all this during the season. I don't know how, we've talked about this, especially during the Mexico trip. I was like, I don't know how any man would be attracted to Gizelle when she's acting like that on television.
You'd
Well,
be
no.
surprised,
No,
Kempire.
it's true. Men are men. They will sleep
Yeah,
with
it
anyone.
don't take much. It does
They
not
don't.
take much.
A long-term relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a decent, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
No.
Thank you, Miss Brown Sugar, for the super chat. She said semantics matter because words mean things. Chris did not do anything to her, but she was uncomfortable in the situation. Big difference.
Mm.
Yeah, I do think it's a big difference. I do. I do think it was not just semantics. I think you need to clarify if he did something to you or if it's just, you feel uncomfortable, which I do understand, feeling uncomfortable in a hotel room with somebody's husband. I do understand that, but say that.
The way he feels uncomfortable when she talks about his private area multiple times on national
Mhm.
television.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
And
Chris was
draw pictures of
uncomfortable.
it.
She drew pictures,
Yeah.
and Chrissy kept the door open as well because he was uncomfortable too, but she didn't do anything to him. They both felt uncomfortable about the situation. So it's really nothing.
Right. Thank you, Sheridan. Sheridan said Jiz had all the smoke for Black Chris, though. Right. She had all the smoke for, you know what? I feel like she hated Monique. Like Monique had everything she wanted, like a man with money who seemed to actually care about her. Like, I think that's all Gizelle ever wanted. And she never had it with Jamal.
And she will forever. I know she takes this show as just a show, but Gizelle, because I know you're watching, let me tell you this. The amount of disgusting behavior you've done on this show, you will never be happy. Ever.
Yes, tell her. It's true. It's true. You can't treat people this way and do these sorts of things and expect to reap a happy life. It's not possible.
No.
If I could pin a comment, it would be this. Where was the bodyguard for Chris? Is it because he's not a big Black man like Monique's husband? You say Chris made you feel uncomfortable. You never actually said Monique's husband made you feel uncomfortable, but you say Chris made you feel uncomfortable, but you didn't get a bodyguard for him. But last or 2 seasons ago, you had a bodyguard for Monique and Chris. A bodyguard who seemed to be scared of Chris. Like he was not trying to go against Chris. Like, where is the bodyguard?
Wow. Speaks volumes.
Right. So Gizelle, in that conversation, Gizelle said she thought Candiace should know about the situation. But then she waited 5 months to tell Candiace about the situation. And she says the only reason she told her on camera is because Ashley brought up the DM situation, which was a reply to a story. So Gizelle is trying to make it seem like it happened organically. Her making the accusations against Chris on camera happened organically. In y'all's opinion, do you think it's possible maybe it was organic, or do you believe there is that meeting like every year before RHOP? Is there that meeting where they talk about what they want to bring to the camera?
Well, remember, this whole situation, this reunion is playing out after the fact of the Robin situation. So it's very clear to us what we're seeing during the reunion. They're able to say a lot because they're not caught out there yet in regards to the plot and plan to cover up Robin's situation. But it was even if we didn't know the Robin situation, it was very clear to us their intentions here. We just now know why they were doing it.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You feel the same?
Yeah, well, both situations are reaching. Chris did not slide into Ashley's DM, and she knew that. And then it was quickly corrected. Gizelle knew before she started spreading more Chris allegations. Robin told her already that Chris works at the W and that he just wanted to promote the thing. So, yeah, it was planned.
Yeah.
And why would you immediately jump to the conclusion that someone's flirting with you because they're saying come to the W?
Well, a lot of people say that has to do, with privilege. Like thinking because you fit the stereotype of what men want, that every time a man is communicating with you, you think he wants you, like in that way.
Yeah.
Like it's a mindset that both Gizelle and Ashley share, you know what I mean, because of their skin tone. This too much. Thank you for the super chat. This person said, I think me and Robin are both short bus candidates. Sorry. Their point, or shall I say lies, never make sense. I also want to say that this panel is always so lovely to look at. Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We definitely appreciate it. I'm going to star right there. We definitely appreciate that. And I wanted to get into some of these super chats. Thank you. T from China. Thank you. Feelings are not oh, that's a good point. Feelings are not facts. You felt the way, Gizelle.
Yeah.
Big lesson. Thank you, Florence. Chris needs to learn boundaries. Chris is not my favorite person because I don't even know why. Why do you want to talk to Gizelle in her room anyway? And in this episode, Chris said specifically, okay, I invited myself to your room, which is different from what he said on camera. So I'm gonna have to go what he said. Why do you want to go to Gizelle's room? Like, her and Candiace have an up and down relationship. So why do you want to talk to her in her room?
I think in that moment, he was saying, let's say for argument's sake, we're not going to argue whether or not you asked me to come back to the room or what. He said, let's just say we'll go with your version that I've asked you to go to the room. I don't know if he necessarily believed that's what actually happened.
But I'm going to go with what he goes with.
Yeah, okay.
So if he goes with that, then I'm going to go with it too. And I want to know why. If your wife has an up and down relationship with this woman, why you want to go to her room? I'm not saying he did anything wring.
Why is Gizelle laid out on the bed?
With her robe on top.
She did not like when he said that. She was like, wait a minute.
That's a good question, because when you're uncomfortable in a room with a man, and this has happened to me sometimes where, you're like, the last thing I would touch would be the bed. Like, absolutely not. I would not even I would be on the other side, like just trying to make myself busy or whatever, not on the bed. So that was something that was quite interesting to me.
Yeah. When I open the door, if I didn't see my people when I opened the door, I would probably close the door. Like, just to be honest with you guys, like, I don't like that type of stuff either. So I do feel like Gizelle going in the room and then laying on the bed, that's her. If she felt uncomfortable, part of it is on her. Thank you, Charmy, for the super chat. Charm said, in true bird brain fashion, Gizelle can't grasp the difference between a situation making her uncomfortable and an action making her uncomfortable. I think that's a good point.
Yeah. Someone said it sounds like a setup. Damn.
Yeah. What's up, Ty? Ty is the one that we had the chat about Gizelle, saying that Jamal Bryant was allegedly violent towards her. Gizelle and her lawyer said that. So you guys check out her channel if you want the information on that. She said, I'm with Karen on the funeral. They played with her too much that season that her parents were dying. Sharice, the greasy granny was clout chasing. Not greasy granny. A sister can sweat a little bit. Thank you, Boss Lady Tree. She said Gizelle absolutely thinks she has complexion protection. Yeah. And it looks like it's, I see a lot of people who are lighter skinned calling out Gizelle. Sean said, I think this was the same play with Wendy. Gizelle and Robin used to deflect from the Juan rumors. That is why Rob got mad at Wynn's comments.
About her fake relationship.
Oh, well, I mean, was she wrong? I wish I had my Nikki, did I lie? I wish I had my gift. Did I lie? Thank you, Danielle. Danielle said, hey, y'all, Robin can go now. She gives nothing. Gizelle could have told Chris, hey, let's talk in the hall since my team isn't in my room if she was uncomfortable. That's what I'm saying. That's what I would have done. I would have been like, oh, my bad. My people not even in here. What you want?
Yeah.
Last
thing though, and this is why I feel as if Gizelle is playing, and why Candiace said you make it terrible for other women, because there is a very thin line where there are women that are truly in positions where they won't say, maybe we can have this conversation, in the lobby or outside my room, that we're truly uncomfortable, that we're truly dealing with men like Harvey Weinstein that were in these positions of power. So this is where I feel Candiace was coming from. You make it worse for women, because now we're having these conversations because we do not believe that she truly was uncomfortable here. But this is where it gets murky for women that really are uncomfortable, and not necessarily something physically happened to them, but there was this air of something. There was something that this person said or did that made you kind of go, and you start blaming yourself. So it's a very murky area, and I see this is where Candiace was coming from. You're taking this issue and using it for television when there are real women that have dealt with feeling uncomfortable in these positions.
Yeah. And a lot of women been through situations that have not been murky. You know what I'm saying? It's been very clear that something is wrong here. You know what I mean? Yeah. Thank you, Tony, for the super chat. Tony said, so Kyle didn't say goodbye to Gizelle, right? So are you saying he only said goodbye to Chris? You didn't know Kyle was gone?
Good point. That's a very good point.
But I wanted to get into this. I wanted to get, because I like transcribe what Candiace said, because tempers are flaring when they're having this conversation. Like, it's a heated conversation and tempers are flaring. So this is what Candiace said in this moment to Gizelle. She said, "You are a garbage individual. You have no soul. The fact that you sit up here and act as if you are the victim, you are the reason that women cannot come forward with SA and S misconduct allegations, because you sit up here with your privilege, white looking ass, and think you can say whatever the F you want to say and no one is going to bat an eyelash. Your proximity to whiteness helps you to be able to sit up here and tell these lies." Now, did you guys watch this episode more than once?
Yeah.
Okay. No? Oh,
And it's seen multiple times.
Me too. I had to get what she said.
Yeah.
Okay. So you, on your first watch of what she said in this moment, what did you think about that?
I literally was like this on my couch. Like I was melting. Because I felt her anger in the situation. And I don't want to police her reaction. And I know people hate when people correlate what would happen with Monique and her reaction because it was physical violence. But I don't want to police her reaction because we can't tell people how to react.
Right.
But I felt after the whole Chris conversation in there, I felt, especially as someone, I don't have a husband, I don't have, someone like that in my life, but I know when I do, all bets are off if you're coming from my family and my, the love of my life. I waited all this time to find the love of my life and you're going to attack him?
Okay.
Hold on.
Shots fired.
So my initial reaction, I was like, oh, I melted in my couch watching that. I was just like, oh, I felt how angry she was.
Yeah.
But then I had to replay it and I was like, well, look, damn. Look, damn. And it reminded me why it was important for them to have a moderator that was well-versed on racism and colorism, because I feel the lesson was not just for the lighter-skinned people to learn. It was for the entire cast to learn. It was for the audience that's watching this could have learned from. No one learned a thing from that 6-minute conversation.
You agree, Grace?
1,000%. Candiace, she came in and she cleared. I agreed with everything she said 1,000%. It is true that thanks to their proximity to whiteness, Gizelle, Ashley, and Robin, they do conduct themselves like white women. They've got some Karen tendencies, they do a lot of really nasty, horrible things to people. And then obviously you have a natural reaction and then they turn themselves into the ultimate victim, like how many times do you see those videos of, white women bothering people, just doing their own thing. And then the people react. All of a sudden they're crying, they're screaming, they're calling the cops, claiming that the person has a gun on them or whatever. Like they do that. They do. And they do benefit from that a lot. And I felt really bad for her that everybody jumped in. I thought that was a perfect example of the colorism at play, that Gizelle never has to struggle on her own. She never has, it's like you were saying earlier, I think it was Kempire or Layla, that she just looks like this and then everyone comes in and protects her. That doesn't happen to other people, right? And we're talking about life ruining allegations and no one's ready to jump in. But Candiace calls out the colorism. All of a sudden it's horrible, it's below the belt, and it's reverse colorism from women who a second ago didn't understand colorism. Weren't they confused about what colorism was?
Yeah, I agree. I watched this twice. The first time I watched it was with my kids, so I don't hear everything when I'm watching with my kids. And then I watched it this morning on my own. And at first, the first time I watched it and I saw Wendy react to it and I saw Mia react to it, and Wendy said that Candiace mentioned Gizelle's white skin, and Mia said that Candiace said that Gizelle has white privilege, I was like, wow, Candiace, what you doing, girl? But then when I watched it again, Candiace didn't say either one of those things. She didn't say either one of those things. So I was like, y'all got to stop. Y'all got to stop putting words in her mouth. She said your proximity to whiteness, makes you feel privileged. But she never said you have white skin. She said you are white looking. You know what I mean? But she never said you have white skin. And she never said that you have white privilege. So I was curious, why do y'all think, if in that moment Candiace didn't call Gizelle white, why do you think people reacted as if she called Gizelle white and as if she said that Gizelle had white privilege. And that's a question like, why did both Mia and Wendy and Ashley react that way?
Mm-hmm.
Like, did they not hear what she said because she was yelling? Because I do know some people tune out. Like, once you start to yell, I'm one of them.
Remember, this is at the end of a 16, 17-hour day. And also just life in general. There will be things that we discuss and like, oh, wait, you said that? And it's just, you heard something completely different. That is just communication sometimes. Hence why we had to watch that whole situation multiple times. I'm like, wait, did she say that? Because we didn't remember in that instant moment.
Yeah.
So who knows what they heard, especially, again, after a 16, 17-hour day of going back and forth on so many different topics. I'm sure they did tune out at certain points during different segments.
Yeah.
I think they did it on purpose. These are the same. They have a vested interest in protecting their privilege. So they play dumb. This is the same thing that white supremacy does, right? Like, they play dumb. Some things are very simple and basic, but they will act so confused to get away from, answering the question or admitting to certain things. So, it's just too convenient that they didn't understand what Candiace said, even though it was very simple. Just like they didn't want an actual moderator who could properly challenge them on colorism. It's too convenient for me.
Yeah. I agree too. I felt like it was purposeful, and I felt like it kind of proved Candiace's point, even though I don't like the tone that Candiace had. And I feel like myself, if I'm speaking to anyone, first of all, I am one of those people, I tune out. If you're yelling at me, I don't even hear you no more. Like, it's over. Like, you're wasting your time. But also, if someone is yelling at me about my skin tone, I really don't hear you. It's really like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't hear it. But at the same time, I feel like with other women on the cast being more aggressive than Candiace, like, she's not the most aggressive woman on the cast. I would say Robin is the most aggressive on the cast, but I feel like they proved her point about colorism when they got up in arms. When she raised her voice, they got up in arms. But you see other women like Robin at another reunion, she raised her voice at Monique, and nobody really got up in arms. And it's like when a darker skinned woman appears aggressive, they make it a personality trait, right? It's not just a moment. With Robin, it's just a moment. But with Candiace, it's a personality trait. Like Ashley, when they had that colorism conversation, Ashley was like, well, what if people just don't like your personality? And it kind of like when Ashley said that, I'm sure to a lot of people it made sense. But to me, it was like, well, why is aggressiveness made part of Candiace's personality, but not Robin? You know what I mean? I felt like that's an example of colorism, the way they reacted to Candiace raising her voice.
You know who would have pointed it out? The moderator. You know who would have pointed it out in that instance? A moderator that is well versed in the topic. They would have broke down all the different moments and examples that they observed in their preparation to moderate this conversation during the season, and they would have pointed it out. They would have explained, so Dr. Wendy Acefo didn't have to explain to Candiace in that moment. They needed a moderator, and I feel like Bravo and the production company failed the cast, the network, and the audience by not having someone well versed on it. Because Andy's just sitting there like this, oh, don't want to get involved in this. Rightfully so.
Right. I understand.
But there, and because it's a vanity thing to you, to just because you want to be on this show. No, this is why you can't be there. Be in the audience and sit and learn.
Yeah.
But even that, when Andy was like, when they had the colorism conversation, he was like, I'm gonna just sit back and learn. I just feel like a conversation between Black women, why does this have to be a learning experience for you? You know what I mean? Why can't you just watch the playback? I didn't feel like it was the moment for it to be a learning experience. And I kind of felt like maybe that influenced the conversation, because you don't see Candiace really talking about colorism with passion in that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we see it here now. But I do want to get to some of these super chats, and I do hope y'all got, a few more minutes. This was a 90-minute.
Yeah, it was long.
Yes, and they could have kept at least 30 minutes of it. They really could have. Okay.
Engage for colorism.
Okay. So Queen said, let's not forget, Jizneck was the one who initiated this conversation with Chris. She had a plan for the next season, and boom, here we go. Girl.
Set him up.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of Chris. Even with Candiace not accepting Gizelle's apology, and then Chris says he accepts it. You can't be my husband acting like that.
What's
Like,
the code? Yeah, that was weird.
right, we got to talk before the show. I'm gonna tell you before we
No,
even
we are
go.
not accepting this.
Right? Yes. Thank you, Sean, for the super chat. Sean said Gizelle cannot even be cordial to Wendy, who just told her the truth about her relationship. It's true. Gizelle has some serious issues and some serious problems. Thank you, CE. Jiz told us beginning of the season she was the one who asked Chris. That's what I thought. She said she was the one who asked Chris to go to her room because she thought her glam was going to be there. People keep forgetting.
Including
That's what I
Jill.
thought she said. But if Chris said that he asked, I'm going to go with what he said. But I thought Gizelle said she wanted him to come to her room.
Keeps getting very murky.
Yeah.
Very murky. And I feel like Chris needs to have his wife's back a little bit more. Like, again, if you're my man, you're not going to nobody else's hotel room. We're not doing that. Thank you, Patrine, for the super chat. Patrine said Chris stated in an interview he talked to Jiz. Every time y'all call her Jiz, it throws me off. But okay. He talked to Jiz because he...
G-I-Z. It's how beginning her name spelled.
Okay. All right.
That's the way I'm justifying it because I get what you're saying.
I'm with it. I'm just saying. He talked, I bet you, okay. He talked to Jiz because he was telling her they all need to get it together and have fun. Otherwise, people will tune out. That is a true statement. Thank you, Joanne, or Joan Rudith. Grace, I told you, Grace. I told you this lighting is hitting. She said, Grace, this lighting on your face, curl definition, perfection. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. I love it. Stephanie Rollins said, gonna miss this panel. I'm hoping this is Jizzy's last season. I'm sick of watching her get read down every reunion.
Apparently, she's not.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think it's her last season. Thank you again, Stephanie. She said, I'm light-skinned with green eyes. Jizzy knows exactly what she's doing and why she's doing it. SMH. Yeah. Both of my sisters are the same. Like, my sisters, in a way, look just like Gizelle and Robin as far as being light-skinned with green eyes. But I don't think my sisters act like every man wants them. You know what I mean? Like, I've never seen that type of behavior from them.
Yeah.
She gives off soulless, the potato head, worn out handbag. I think this is for Gizelle, even though there's no name.
You know what?
Sure.
I feel like this is for Gizelle. I really do. All right, you guys. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you thumbs up this video and make sure you subscribe to our friends to the show. We have Grace Report and Kempire. We've been here all season. This is our finale. So we definitely appreciate your support. Thank you, Tatiana. She said, Candy spoke the truth. Jiz uses her light skin privilege. And I do feel like she was speaking truth, especially when she clarified that when a lighter skinned person makes accusations, they're taken more seriously than a darker skinned person. And there's been studies, like people have studied that with like qualitative studies where they actually look at the pictures of people making the accusations. And it's been proven that when lighter skinned people make those type of accusations, the outcome is more serious. But, you know, CE, thank you for the super chat. Candiace was right. It was triggering to see the light skins start attacking Candiace for the word she chose, but not once have they reprimanded Gizelle for what she did all season. That's disgusting. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The way they got so rowdy as soon as Candiace raised her voice. And to me, I do understand it's triggering. When people raise their voice, I have to say, I do understand it's triggering. Like I said, I'm one of them people that tune out. But the way they got so rowdy, when what Candiace did was not even comparable to what Gizelle did. But the way they got so rowdy with Candiace, it was hard to watch. As a brown-skinned woman, it was hard to watch.
And they're raising sons. Like, they should be outraged by what it is that Gizelle's doing. You know, like, you're raising sons. They could fall victim to women like Gizelle.
It's true. Thank you, Sean. Sean said, I love this panel on all of your channels. Thank you. Again, the links to both Grace and Kempire's channel are in the description box and in this chat. So make sure you subscribe to their channels. Thank you, Kiana, for the super chat. Kiana said, I think Wendy was trying to help her calm down and explain herself better.
Hmm. A lot of people are coming at Wendy, and I really feel like people should leave Wendy alone in regards to this, because I do believe that she had good intentions in this particular moment. But again, I put the responsibility on Bravo and production. It shouldn't fall on Candiace and Wendy to discuss issues of race and colorism when it comes to this on the cast and for a television show.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's the same when it comes to racism. Like colorism is obviously an offshoot of racism. And a lot of times, you know, people who are like victims of racism are the ones that have to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, why don't the people who are perpetuating it have to talk about it?
No.
So Candiace was kind of leading the discussion on colorism, but it's like, why don't we have Gizelle sit there and talk about her privilege? You know what I mean? As a lighter skinned woman, I saw that Ashley was open to talking about it. So maybe she could have led I don't know if she could lead it, but her and Mia seemed open to discussing it. So maybe we could have heard more from them. You know what I mean? All right, you guys, I'm trying to get these super chats.
Take your time. Look, take your time, girl.
Thank you. You guys, thank you for joining.
Last one.
Charm said, y'all please go watch Karen and watch What Happens Live from last night. She extended grace to Robin that she doesn't deserve.
She did. She did. Karen was see, here's the difference between Karen and Watch What Happens Live and Robin and Watch What Happens Live. Robin was boring, and Karen is even in Karen's delusion is so entertaining.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm. I feel like Karen should have had the first spot. Like I kind of like when I saw Karen was the first chair, I was like, and I only half watched because
you know what it is though. I mean, okay, we put it. I think it's Larsa's proximity to the Kardashians, and you know how Bravo is with celebrity, and because I was even sort of like, I was like, why is Telfar at the bar?
Yes, that was another thing.
Designer.
Yes, I was like, why is he at the bar? But I was half asleep, and I was like, oh, this is me. But yes, he was really at the bar.
And he made them. I was like, I want one.
Right. Right. And he supports RHOP so much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. TB, thank you for the super chat. TB said Rob was visibly frustrated when she was called out and excluding Wendy's children. The editing was weird because nothing was resolved there. That was the moment I knew Rob had hatred in her heart.
Ooh.
Yeah. Do y'all agree that Robin specifically excluded Wendy's children?
Yeah. She can like wrap a pretty bow on it and use all these other things like she did. She knew there's no way that Wendy would send those kids. So she wanted the blame to fall on Wendy herself by putting her in an unreasonable situation. So
yeah. What stood out to me in that particular moment was the fact that, and I'm glad she said it, she's like, Candiace has never been alone with my children. So for you to expect them to come to bring them to this family fun day, which literally, she's like, oh, it was last minute. Even last minute, I bet all three of us could throw a better party than what Robin threw.
Mm-hmm. If it's going to be on TV, you're going to have people that's going to volunteer to help you. Like, yes, you could put the word out. It could be better than that.
Free.
Yes. Because we know Robin is frugal. So, yeah. Ali, thank you for the super chat. Ali said, Wendy and Mia reacted to what Candiace said because people listen to respond, not to understand. They hear certain words that trigger them and latch on to that. It must have been because Wendy said that Candiace said that Gizelle had white skin and Candiace didn't say that. Yeah. Mia said that Candiace said that Gizelle had white privilege and Candiace didn't say that either. She didn't say either one of those things. If someone called Candiace a black, thank you, Houston Foodie, for the super chat. Evil Angel, thank you. You said, example, Gizelle never has to stand up for herself. Mm-hmm. Everyone protects her like a white woman. I understand from the start it may have been harsh, but I don't think so. It came off harsh because of her being dark skinned. Yeah. It's interesting. Chris B said, I think it's a network issue as well. When it comes to the network, plays a part in colorism issues. Didn't Kenya and Phaedra get reprimanded? Will it apply to the Green Eyed Bandits for their similar antics? I'm telling y'all, I saw on the Brooke Ashley's channel, she said she ran into somebody from Bravo and they said that Robin and Gizelle are the faces of this show. So they're going to be there. They're going to be there next season. I would bet money they're going to be there.
They're not even fan faves.
Look at that. Robin is the face of RHOP.
Allegedly. Allegedly, yes, it's true.
No
Just
wonder
like
they
the next season.
no wonder they didn't get over 1 million views during their live. Oh, they got it once this season.
And it was actually, I think it was that episode where Sharice and Karen were going at it. You
But
look on Wikipedia, it has the ratings. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. When Sharice was ready to fight. Yes. That was the episode. Rybone said, did you see what Chris just twittered it? I gotta check my Twitter.
Please do. Let us know what Chris said. You know Chris is unhinged sometimes. Look like unhinged.
What's up, Zoe? Zoe said, my thing is, why is it that women they don't like is dark skin, i.e. Katie, Monique, Candiace, Wendy, and Sharice at some point?
Kate?
Yeah, they used to go after Katie for her race and stuff, and Katie used to put them in their place and whatnot. I think it's that they hold their grudges against them very long, because I know they didn't like Karen either at a certain point, and Ashley as well. It's just that they're more easily forgiven.
Yeah, I agree with the forgiveness part is only for the lighter skin cast. Tony said, I didn't think Wendy reacted away. I think she was helping Candiace clear up what she said so Candiace wouldn't get the backlash. I do think she was trying to help. Yeah. And Candiace, I do appreciate it that she did calm down and she said what she had to say in a tone that was easier to understand. Thank you, Sean, for the super chat. Sean said, Candiace's word choice was poor. Wendy did a good job checking her while backing her up. It was true. Yeah. I think it was the tone. I think she could have said the same thing with a different tone. Thank you, RZ Steele. It's confusing and very hurtful to be lied on. It wounds the person. It's damaging. Yes. Gizelle is a bitter person and it leaks issue out of her heart. Because I agree with this, because I feel like you have to be bitter to be in a room with someone. It had to be minutes that she was in the room with Chris, and to feel uncomfortable like that, but then bring it to television instead of privately. I do feel like you have to have some bitterness in your heart towards men.
I mean, based off what we know about Pastor Jamal Bryant and that situation, I can't blame her for being bitter, but get therapy, girl. And stop taking it out on all of us. Look, all of us.
Right. We had to watch this mess.
And review it.
Right.
And deal with everyone else's reaction.
Thank you, Sean. Sean said, case if what I said versus what you heard. Yeah, it was two totally different things. I told you guys I had to rewind it and replay it. I turned on my captions and everything.
I keep my captions on.
Yes. Thank you, Anglo Frenchy chick. She said, what about Giselle's children? They're dark too. They are. All three of them are brown skinned girls. Shasha said, you can tell Candiace understood what Wendy was saying because she articulated herself a lot better afterwards. Wendy did nothing wrong. Yeah.
But I see a lot of people on social media coming for Wendy in that moment because they wanted her to. But I appreciate a friend that's going to step in if they don't believe that I'm, right in a situation. I appreciate that. Some people don't.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate it as well, but don't say I said something that I didn't say.
True. And maybe wait.
Kempire, who is this? C. McDonald said, at Kempire, I love your dimples. Thanks to this panel for helping get through this triggering season. Giselle really made me see how mean people can be. Yeah. Same. Karen gets it. Shawnee, thank you for the super chat. Candy gets it. Karen gets it, but Robin, Giz, and Mia are raising darker hued children, should be more conscious to their actions.
You know what this reminds me of? And I know you guys have collaborated a lot with Ty's Hot Messy History. She did a video on that I saw on TikTok. A lot of you were tagging me, thank you, because I can't see everything, about her father's history of colorism. And I was just like, oh shoot.
Let me get
how he called his political opponent, who ended up winning, the Aunt Jemima of politics. Yeah. So this history, it explains a lot. It explains a lot. So I implore people to go check out that video if they haven't seen it. And that's on Ty's Hot Messy History, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna put a link to it in the chat. Yeah. Basically, it seemed like he might have been bitter because he lost that particular race. And the woman he was running against, it was like a brown skinned woman. So he called her Aunt Jemima. And I just felt like, and we had a conversation about that. I was not surprised because I feel like colorism is kind of like generational.
Mm,
And so if that's how you're raised, I'm not surprised if that's how you act.
yeah.
And a lot of people who have been leaders in the Black like civil rights movement or human rights movement, a lot of them have been colorists. Like there used to be this issue,
Yeah.
like the talented 10th and everything, where it's like a subset of Black people, like a 10th of Black people who really felt like they were better than other Black people. Like they would say like helping as we climb, you know what I mean? As if we're looking back as we climb up. And that's an issue. If you think like, if you as a human think you're better than any other human, it's an issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's up, Potato Head? Potato Head said that Robin Family Fun Day was given Crenshaw Boulevard. Good thing Wendy and her kids didn't go. It's definitely a VH1 budget.
VH1.
Listen, can I get y'all to read some of these super chats because my voice, like, I'm trying to drink.
Going. Let's have Grace read it in French.
Keisha says, I feel like we're in a permanent scene of school days and Ms. Mint Julep 2023. I am Nene Leaks tired at this point. So tired. I feel like I need to call my therapist. That's why I rate these so low. I feel the same way at the end. Just, ugh.
You feel drained. Yeah. That's the poor. Yeah.
Bianca says, sorry if someone asked and I missed it. Why was Giz laying on the bed if she was uncomfortable? Exactly. Chris said she was laid on the bed as he stood by the door.
Right. Good question.
I was like,
Kempire, you read this one.
I don't agree, but okay.
Wait, at Kempire, you give a male version. Wendy Williams, love it. Thank you.
I love it too, but I don't think you're messy. I don't think you're messy.
That's why I disagree too. I mean, I understand people say it meaning good intentions, but I also feel like Wendy's Wendy. So
it's the New York and it's the cadence and certain things that you say. I see. And I remember you were talking about this in a recent podcast episode as well, which was cute.
All right.
Did Charisse admit to lying on Karen when she said she only slung dirt at her because she felt that Karen came for her character? Oh, good question.
I thought the same thing. I was like, is she admitting that she just made these things up in order to come back at Karen? I caught that too.
Yeah. So do y'all believe, Katie came out with these tweets and she said, she made love to Charisse. Kempire, I'm sorry.
Okay, I've been saying, woo, Katie. This is why Katie cannot come back. And it wasn't because of these tweets, but the tweets following since last night. I don't know if you've seen them. It's like she's spiraling on Twitter. I just need Katie to focus on her sobriety and not trying to return to the show. But you're right. When I heard, I was like, oh, why do we need to know this? Why do we need to know this?
I told you guys in the past that when people say things, I automatically get a mental picture. Like when Robin said, she needs to go to the restroom, I start picturing her. Like when people say things, I get a mental picture. So when Katie said that, like, yes, I need some woo woo woo. Like bring me on back. Because I got a mental picture and I didn't like it. Like I didn't like it. Grace, do you believe it?
I don't understand it. I'll say I believe it, but like I don't understand it. I'm like, really? Because the rumors are old. I remember hearing rumors and I assumed it was Ashley because Ashley was openly bi. And that's something I could picture being more of a connection than Charisse. Because Charisse is very much like stick up her butt type of person where you're like, just so like, right? Like so snobby. And
Man.
All right. So, they did the unseen footage of the Watch What Happens Live. And, we talked about this earlier that this, to me, and I see you guys agree that it kind of took away from the reunion. I will say this. I do watch the Basketball Wives TV show, and I feel like Robin is a basketball wife. And what I've realized watching the Basketball Wife TV show, some of those women are delusional. Like when you're with a husband, like he's out there, like he's in the NBA and he's shown you that he's not faithful. This is not a man like who has shown you that he can be a celebrity and be faithful to you. This is a man that has shown you he's not faithful. It's a challenge for him. and sometimes he just can't do it. But then you still expect fidelity from that man. You're delusional, right? And so what Robin was giving me was delusion. So I want to know what y'all thought, because she repeated the same story and she expects the audience to believe it. Is Robin delusional? Is she dumb? Like,
she's dumb. I don't believe in this relationship at all. I think that like it's just like a situation for TV or whatever. I think they live separate lives. So I think it's just about keeping a check, you know, and it's easier to keep on the show if you have a quote unquote man, even if it's just like the fakest thing in the world, you know? That's what I think it is. I don't think she's genuinely hanging on to this guy. At least I hope she's not, with all the red flags.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Grace. I don't believe that this is a real relationship, and this is not based off of blogs. This is based off what we've seen year after year on this show. This is why people don't believe in it. But at the end of the day, Robin, we don't care if you want to stay in a relationship with this man. If this is what you want, we don't care. What we care is that you're bringing it to television, and we want to be entertained by actual, at least somewhat of a real situation. And if your real situation is this, we don't want to see it. We don't want to see it. And I think what we've seen, especially when they talk about the fidelity clause and the prenup, I said, this just confirms to me that you and Juan have agreed to pretend like you're in a relationship. You will get married because this will secure your spot on the show. I don't believe that this is a real relationship, and that's fine for you, but we do not want to see it any longer on The Real Housewives of Potomac. I'll speak for myself, though.
Well, I agree with you. I don't want to see it. If anything, I could see Robin being a friend to the show. But as far as being like a main cast member, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see this again, Bravo. If you're watching, I don't want to see this again, because Robin has proven to you like she doesn't understand being a reality star. You know, she plays down too many things that are really going on in her life. And like Andy said, like, wouldn't it have been more powerful if you brought it up yourself versus waiting for someone else to bring it up and kind of like, you know what I'm saying, come out of a bag on you? You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like Robin lives in her truth or lives in her power.
Yeah.
Ever.
So any parting words as we wrap up season 7 of our RHOP reunion recaps?
Bye, Robin. Bye, Charisse.
Same. Shake things up, and like maybe have a nice like conversation with the girls about changing the tone. It's not about attacking people. It's not about ruining people's lives. People want fun. People want lighthearted drama, not this stuff. You know. I agree. Get rid of Robin. Let Gizelle stand on her own. See how that goes. Do not bring back Charisse. Maybe bring back Jacqueline again if that's what people are into. I wouldn't mind, certainly. So yeah, just change things up. I think they've got a decent base. They just need to kind of like remove some power from Gizelle a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Kempire.
I mean, yeah, I definitely think, you know, because a lot of people like cancel RHOP. I don't think they should cancel it because it definitely has potential, and they're not going to cancel it because it's an Andy Cohen produced show and the ratings weren't terrible. So, and I also don't think they're going to dramatically change this whole situation. But what they need to do, maybe off camera, is actually bring in a mediator that's well versed in race and colorism and have a conversation with these ladies.
Yeah,
because they're irresponsible by just blatantly throwing these situations out there on television without taking any sort of responsibility for what they're doing to their audience that they want to be watching and reviewing these shows.
Yeah. So we all hope for better next season. Yeah. They dropped the ball, specifically Robin dropped the ball this season. Robin and Gizelle and Juan dropped the ball this season. They ended the episode, you know, with I have my speaker with the speaker. So you know what, Layla's gone tech too. So I want to put my speaker as we wrap this up. Again, thank you guys for joining us in the chat. Those of you guys who are watching and don't chat, those of you guys who have supported our channel with super chats and cash apps and things like that. Thank you. Layla. So we out.
Thank you guys.
But let me dance like, what's the name? Wait.
Oh, Robin.
No rhythm.
All right, you guys.